dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime, I'm dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime.
Vibing, but my phone on vibrate. Just another busy hour, give a fuck, but I can't. See, I evolved in the game like a primate. Getting plenty bitches scream on them like a pie plate. Why hate, why fake what you can't make? Why take a blind date when you can find your fate? Ghost hit the blunt, now my third eye bloodshot. Another bong hit, and I'm going in the next shock.
Dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime, I'm dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime.
Magnificent, like Sakakafee up in the lab. Ooey gooey kush with residuals all on the bag. Come witness my ascendancy. Accept my swag pretentiously while I proceed to smoke my weed and mac on hoes who interest me. She could be your chick and be your victim to my pimpin' G. Lately she been teasing you and leaving you and greasing me. She said that she believe in me and she invested cheese in me. I hit up when I'm smoking dope, digging her machinery.
Dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime, I'm dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime,
Dipping through my pastime, and that was the last time. Smoking on that fire green, yeah, I call it grass time. Yeah, your girl is in line, like some damn skates. Yeah, she only met me once, and she talking about a date. Man, you talking about a date, that's what you anticipate. Well, I'm sorry, baby girl, but you ain't my soulmate. So I choose a different route, chose the left instead of right. I'm a fresh ass nigga smoking green at kryptonite, yeah.
Dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime, I'm dipping through my pastime, dipping through my pastime, I'm dipping
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The House List. I'm your host, Peter Agustin, and thank you for tuning in. Looking at some of the stats as of late and seeing some folks on the check-in, peeping it out, which I love. I love to see. Now, you know, I'm checking out the SoundCloud. If this is your first time listening because of our very special guest today, you can hear the House List podcast on iTunes. It's also on the Stitcher app. I know a lot of people only check out podcasts on Stitcher, but you can catch it online too. Like if you listen on a desktop or a laptop computer at soundcloud.com/TheHouseListPodcast. Just want to take a beat there for my folks that only listen on their computers. I want to give you a shout out because I can kind of see where some of y'all are listening from, and it's a wide range geographically across the world. Had some people on the check-in from Rio de Janeiro, from Pinamar, Argentina, Portugal Cove, Canada. Where else? Orenburg in the Russian Federation, Bolton, UK, all the way down to NY, Forest Hills, New York, Deer Park, New York, the Bronx, New York, Red Hook, Bayonne, New Jersey. So many spots, and I appreciate it. Everybody tuning in from Pasadena to Calgary, Omaha, even Christiansburg, Virginia. So I just want to give you guys a shout out. If you are tuning in on the SoundCloud app or on the website, because I see some of y'all repost it that way, and I really appreciate that. In fact, I urge you to, if you dig what I'm doing, if you like the guests that I have, and you are capable of reposting it or sharing it with someone, by all means, please do. I encourage that. This is a DIY type of thing that I'm doing, and I'm just trying to reconnect with people that I know and work with, and let that evolve from there, and share some great conversations about musicians and artists and people that work in music and in the arts and in the industry. And hopefully we all take something away from some of these conversations. And I know that I was looking forward to this particular one because I hadn't seen this guy in what feels like a decade. It's been close to that. Lofty305. Yes, I got Lofty305 from the infamous Metro Zoo, Miami, Florida. And we caught up. We actually have a show here in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, at Sunnyvale, with James Pants, myself as DJ Thanksgiving Brown, and Lofty305 this Saturday, September 8th. And he flew up from Miami. He's here trying to do some work. He hasn't been to New York in a while, and yeah, we talked about it. We talked about his life story and the history of Metro Zoo. Metro Zoo being like a very kind of interesting and unique group from Miami. Interesting in so many ways in that they have an extremely prolific catalog, especially Lofty. Now, Lofty305, he rhymed in the group. It's essentially a hip hop group, but I don't even know if I would even necessarily categorize it as such, because there was a great visual element at play. He's a painter, a visual artist, but also a producer, a beat maker, composition writer, and an MC with his brother Ruben Slick, the notorious Ruben Slick, as well as Freebase and a whole host of other people. It was kind of like a camp of guys that came out of this crew, but it really sort of started as a small thing, and guys, childhood friends that grew up together that started doing a music thing. And I was their booking agent for a period of time. Mr. B, Laura Letter, even Mike DC, who some may know, and even loosely affiliated with Denzel Curry and Raider Clan. So Lofty and I have always worked pretty much directly, even when I was Metro Zoo's booking agent. And he, during that time, which is basically 2011, 12, 13, and then he gave me so much material, music and stuff, both of his solo material and the group. And I've always just been a huge fan. We kind of stopped working for a while, and I went through some stuff in 2014, and I even took a break from work for a little while, and very recently we reconnected, and I was just like, listen, dude, if we ever have a chance, I would love to just talk to you on this podcast and just talk about our work and about the group, because I'm just a fan. But these guys never really got a ton of press. And there was never a publicist that worked their records. Most of the albums that they put out, and between Lofty and Metro Zoo and the other affiliates, I mean, I'm talking about 100 albums in a year. In 2012, between everybody, it's about 100 albums, and then again in 2013, and it keeps going. But particularly with Lofty, he's a hyper productive producer, and just has a million ideas, and I think he's brilliant, and he's just a cool dude, and we've always got along, and I would consider him a friend, really. I mean, so we made it happen. He came through, and he came through with some dudes, and then we had this conversation, and it was really cool. So if you're a fan of Metro Zoo and Lofty305 and that whole crew, if you're from Miami and listening, then this is for you. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so this is definitely a must listen for any Metro Zoo fan. And I want to send a shout out to Ruben Slick, Mr. B, Freebase, and the whole crew. Great guys, fun, wild dudes. Because when I started working with them, they were all of 19, 20 or something like that. So young, wild guys, and some time has elapsed. And you'll see in the course of this conversation what I'm talking about. We're catching an artist in the midst of an evolution, personal and professional, artistic. So yeah, anyway, this is my conversation here on the House List. Remember, subscribe on iTunes if you like it. Rate it if you don't mind. Please, I urge you. That would be incredible. feel free to share it, retweet it, post it wherever. If you have a blog or website or just a group of friends or a news list, yeah, just get it out. Thank you so much. You can follow us on Twitter at TheHouseListPod. And with no further ado, check out my conversation with Lofty305 here on the House List. Between 2012 and 13, you had done like 50 albums or something like that,
Yeah,
you know.
some crazy amount like that, or 100 or something. Like between
Yeah, so
like all the trips that year, because I was just like
Right.
on the road. I was like traveling.
right. So yeah, I mean, maybe we can frame it to at least kind of get some context there. But I'd like to go after that, kind of go even further back, just about like growing up in Miami too and stuff like that.
For sure.
But I think a lot of people became familiar with your work from that period of time too, because that was really when Metro
That was
Zoo
the
really
time.
came out, right?
Yeah, like mostly like our support outside of the Bay Area in Miami, because like the Bay Area in Miami, ever since we started, that's been like our core like fan base. Like,
Did you have people in the Bay that was
yeah,
pushing
my
the music?
friend went to some art school. Was it Berkeley? Or not
Yeah.
Berkeley. It was like
UC
another
Berkeley?
art school. Yeah, I think UC Berkeley. My homie Germ the Worm went out there
Okay.
and got down with this clique called the On Task Family. And they were
okay.
working closely with Main Attractions. So that
Yes, of course.
yeah, so that relationship developed, and then like we started to get popping in like the Bay mainly. That's where it started, you know.
Were you? But like this was just because you had a satellite dude out there. Because you guys, did you ever? You never went out there, did you? Were you out there?
Nah, we never went out there, but the thing is, we were so like, we loved Andre Nicotina and Mac Dre and like all that shit.
Of course.
So it was like in the music kind of. Like,
Right.
people kind of had that feel, and we'd always rap and say, yeah, we living by the Bay. Because we live by the Bay in Miami, you know?
Right.
That's what we called our little area, the Bay. So people thought that we were from there, you know? Some people, because we didn't have a lot of images in the beginning. We just had like Freebase's drawings and shit.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really photo based at all. I mean, as far as like actual photographs
Yeah, it
of
wasn't-
the members of the
Yeah, we
group.
didn't really have an image. It was just like the music
Right.
and then the art,
Right.
you know? So
But were you doing that as well too? Because eventually you would start taking over as far as the actual like visual design element of it too. Right?
yeah, it started out pretty traditional. Like I was a producer, and Mr. B, who's now Postronaut, and
Right.
Ruben Slick were like mainly the ones rapping, you know?
Right, right.
And then Freebase was the visual artist.
Right. I wanted to, I mean, now that you're mentioning these guys' names too, because I think because of the fact that Metro Zoo was sort of had this ambiguous artwork that you couldn't really associate with one person or the other. It was like a group of like 5 or 6 guys initially, right? Like,
Well, it was. It's been through mad changes, but it started off with us 4.
so what's the origin? Who's the original 4 of that?
The original 4 is me, Freebase, Ruben Slick, and Postronaut.
Okay.
So it's just
Ruben
us
Slick
4.
is your brother, right?
Yeah, Ruben Slick's my older brother. He's older than me by 1 year.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, obviously, you know.
Yeah, we were friends before the Metro Zoo thing.
Right,
Before
of
we
course.
started making music, we were already friends, just hanging out.
Right.
And, like, it would just come out, you know? Y'all be smoking a blunt, and Slick would drop a freestyle, would be like, yo, you could actually be famous, you know? Or, like,
Was he the first one to really, like, identify with trying to make music or something? Or was
yeah,
it?
because he was always, like, hella popular. And Postronaut and Slick, they used to beat on the tables in school.
Uh-huh.
And they'd make whole, like, R&B rap songs, like, about, like, fucking girls and shit.
Right.
And they got, like, pretty popular for that shit. People were like, yo, man, you guys could do some shit.
This is high school?
Yeah, this is high school. So I was in 9th grade and they were in 10th grade.
What high school did you guys go to?
I went to Doctor's Charter School for 10th grade. It's in Miami Shores. It's a pretty new school.
Uh-huh.
It was a brand new school when I went there. But I went there for 1 year. Then I went to Curley in 10th grade. It's like a private Catholic school. And then in 11th grade, I went to military school for like 4 or 5 months.
Wow, in Miami?
Yeah, but that was my last year of school.
Mm.
Because at that point, I was like, I'm doing music, you know?
Right. So when I met you, you must have been just out of high school, or a couple
Well,
years out.
I had not been in school for like, if I was 20 or something when I came up to New York. So I hadn't been in school for like 4 years.
Oh wow, okay.
3-4 years.
So going back though a little bit, like as far as identifying the origin story really of Metro Zoo too, because it's also for me, you know, we've worked in like a more one-on-one work relationship. It's not like I've ever interviewed you guys before. It's never really been in that context. So it's a little out of context from originally how we've gotten down. And in the history of us working together, we only really did like 1 or 2 shows too, because of the fact that everyone, when we first got together, everyone quickly went to different countries, became completely unavailable.
It was a tornado.
Yeah, which was really, I mean, I was exciting to see it all because it was a lot of amazing material was happening, being created at that time, but it didn't make for booking any shows like in that moment, like very easy.
It was really hard actually to just even conceive doing shows during that time, because it's like you think of all the fame and you see what it's doing already on the small scale.
Right.
What it's doing to you and your homies and everything, and just like health-wise, everything. Like mentally, we wouldn't have been able to handle it back then.
But when you first kind of...
I'm glad it came out how it happened, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, even the few shows that I know we did were pretty crazy even at that.
It's crazy. We had...
They were totally unhinged.
Yeah, we had people just showing up, like... It was random, because, you know, the energies are so, like, polarized within the group. Like, our music is so weird that you never know what crowd is going to show up, like, you know?
Right.
So it's just like...
It was very unpredictable, that's for sure.
It was
everything about it was. Just, but going back,
you never know when, like back then, you never know if, like, we plan a show, you don't even know if we're going to get there, because it's just, like, you feel me? Like,
no, I know.
Somebody might, like, get locked up or some shit, or... fucking might just want to go to Europe and just be like, oh, peace, one-way ticket, can't get back.
Right. Like, well, that's what you did, too. You went to Europe pretty soon.
I went to Europe. I went to... and my brother went to Brazil for a while.
Yeah.
He was out in Cali. Freebase went to Europe with me. And I was in Japan with my brother, too.
Oh, nice.
Postronaut's been all over now because he's Curry's DJ. So.
Right. So going back to just to sort of... talk about how Metro Zoo itself sort of solidified. Like, what was there like a moment when you guys realized that I'm not like that for you as the producer, when you did between you and Mr. B at the time? I mean, you guys did like the bulk of the production, right? Like, not all of it.
Mr. B pretty much taught me how to produce. So like the way the music shit started is that like Slick was always like the dope lyricist, you know. Mr. B started out as a DJ, and he used to, you know, he was like in the industry from an early age. It's like around that shit, you know. And like,
in Miami?
Yeah, in Miami.
Okay.
So they were always really dope at that shit. But the thing is, I'm a nerd, so once they gave me a taste of it, that's all I did. Like, I didn't go to any parties. Like, they were cool. They were actually cool. Like, they had like mad girls and shit and friends and, you know, lives. I did not. I was against that shit. I was like, yo, I'm gonna just do this shit. I'm gonna fucking learn this fucking program. So basically I became like, you know, the RZA of the shit. You feel me?
Right, yeah. That makes sense.
And then like there was mad people in the group that we added, you know. We kicked all of them out, you know, because they weren't really, they were trying to just do it for like a couple months and be like, oh, I gotta go to school.
Well, if you look back at some of those songs too, there's some people that it doesn't sound like they really rhyme professionally, or they're like, you know, there's some, and that's kind of adds to the, you know, the whole vibe too, because you have people that they probably, that's like their one and only song they ever rapped on too, or like a couple of joints like that.
We grew up on Mac Dre, you know, that Thiz Nation thing, so
yes,
he was always like putting his homies on the track, because it wasn't about like, oh, we're gonna get so popular from this track. It's just like we're completing this moment.
Yeah.
So if homie's in the corner and he spits a little something to the track and we think it goes and it's cool and it like describes the vibe of the moment, then we tell him to hop on. We insist that he gets on, just so everybody in the room from that day is on the track, you know. And it's just like, it's funny now looking back. Some of the verses I'm like, damn.
Who was the dude that rhymed on Sell My Hoe?
Oh, Petey Weedy.
Yeah,
That's
so
my homie Peter.
Yes, he had might be a good example of that too. You know, or did he rhyme more later or what?
I mean, yeah, he has a couple tracks on like Slick's mixtapes and stuff, but you know, he does it for fun and he just loves. He loves like music and shit. He's from Miami. He's like one of our homies and shit.
Who's the guy what's the dude that did a couple songs with you and Ruben as well, where you guys have the video where Ruben's like face is projected on the tree?
Oh, Elray.
Yeah. So,
yeah, he raps though. He like
love his style.
He doesn't put stuff out that much though. Like I'm trying to like just tell him you need to just drop shit. Like he just works on shit for too long, you know.
Oh really?
Nigga need to. I mean, but I work on shit too fast.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I mean, you have 100 albums in a year, and then you know some people. Everyone has their process. It's different, I guess.
Yeah, Elray's out here. Him and Slick have some new tracks coming out. So.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is that because Miami lately, at least in the press wise, and I think because a lot of it really does have to do with Denzel Curry becoming a little more like popular in not necessarily a mainstream way, but that he's been embraced kind of in a national way. And then you got that new dude,
X.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's just like kind of the tip of the iceberg, really. If you kind of know or do the research really on that scene of like you know younger and newer artists from Miami. I mean,
yeah, it's really exciting, honestly. But you know, it's like also it's alarming because at the same time, you don't want people just to think that. Just like you said, it's the tip of the iceberg. You know, Miami's not just rap. Like there's
not at all
underground music that's great. You know, and I know a lot of artists down there that don't make the typical shit that gets popular from down here. You know, the more hardcore shit. I know some people make some laid back tunes for the ladies, like instrumentalists, great instrumentalists. You know, like that paint beautiful soundscapes, and that's really what Miami is to me. It's more of that than the rap shit. I feel like the rap shit is just popping because it's like it's because it's so word heavy that you can infuse a lot of like you can put banners all over, you can put advertisements all over it, and you can like make so much fucking money on it, you know? You can't just take a band and like throw them in a bunch of fucking t-shirts from your company and make a music video. It's gonna look corny, but if you do that shit with a rapper, it's gonna be like, oh no, he's just making money. So it's just a very monetizable genre.
But for what it's worth, too, I mean, Denzel Curry does his craft the way he approaches it. I think he does it very well.
He's not going that route. He's not going the same route as all the rappers are going right now. He's not gonna end up. He's not gonna end up like that. Like I see in 5 years, he's not even making shit that could be considered rap, you know?
Yeah, I dig that too because when I listen to his stuff, I actually because I learned about him through you because I remember because when we were even talking about shows back then in 2012 that you had mentioned this dude. I'm like, what's up with this dude? Because his name is obviously like when you hear it for the very first time, it's an unusual name.
It's like an actor name.
Yeah, well, you know, for me, I immediately go to Denzel Washington, of course, because it's just there's not a lot of people named Denzel too. So, but that. He kind of, for me, I know it's not like he came out of Metro Zoo, but he does come out of that world, right? Like,
I mean, we had like a little Professor X kind of thing, but it wasn't like anybody was under anybody. There was no Professor X. Like the guide was just the music. Professor X was the music.
Yes.
So like the lab was just at our crib, and we had people come through there, and like just the vibe was trippy because you could just write all over the walls. It was like freedom of expression in our house, and I think. It has nothing to do with like it has nothing to do with us. It had to do with our mindset at the time. Right. Anybody could make a zoo mansion at any time.
Right.
You feel me?
So the studio was that recording studio. People that was like a base for people to go and record.
Yeah.
So multiple artists or friends
go and record and do other shit too. Just go and fucking be you.
Right.
You feel me? And openly say your dreams and your expectations from life and have people be like, you could do that, you know?
Right.
Because there's like a limitless kind of, like a lot of people have launched into different lands and fucking walks of life from that spot. You know, there's a lot of people who've been in Zoo Mansion who are like, yo, this is the first place I recorded. You feel me? Like people that I look up to saying it's the first place that they ever like recorded and shit. So
was this your like bedroom or what was it? Like
it was my bedroom. It was my bedroom. In my parents' house.
Wow. Because you watch those old videos, the very earliest ones on YouTube, too, because it's crazy the amount of artwork and the graffiti and just like the mad like.
Yeah, my parents were like, "What the hell?" But you know what? They just understood it because I like was communicative with them. Like I didn't say, "Oh, fuck you, you guys don't understand," and just run away or some shit.
Right.
Actually, they called me down one day and they were like, "Yo, what are you guys trying to do?" Like they're talking to me and my brother, asking us, "What are you trying to do with your life? Like, what exactly are you trying to do? Because you can't just sit here, not be going to school and just expect, you know." So I told them I'm going to be a famous musician, probably the most famous and richest one of all. And they took that shit and they were like, "All right, well," you know, they started suggesting a bunch of stuff, but I was like, I got this. And I pulled out my computer, and we had the Facebook up for a year. And I went to the stats.
For Metro Zoo or something?
Yeah, for Metro Zoo. I went to the stats, and I showed them, like, from a year ago into now. And then we had, like, 2,000 likes or some shit like that. But it went from 0 to 2,000 in a year.
Sure.
And it was, like, still trending. It was getting bigger. So my parents were like, "Yo, we see this, and you know what? We're going to be supportive from now on." Because it actually gave them peace to be supportive. Because they were like,
right.
You know, we're not battling all the time. We're just trying to keep them focused on the music.
Sure. And it enabled you to be like, you know, super prolific too in the meantime. Because if people go and look, you have to, I mean, it's all out there. I mean, there's like thousands of songs, you know.
It's crazy, dog. Like, I had to, like, delete it off my Bandcamp because I was getting kind of just stagnant in my mind.
Right.
I'm, like, making so much shit and it just sitting there. It's not just sitting there. Like, I know people have it too. People listen to it. But, you know, I just need to wipe it clean and just start fresh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, especially if you're creating that much, I mean, it's going to be difficult to, like, sit with anything. I mean, it's certain artists work in that realm, you know?
Yeah.
Some people, and I think that's kind of what, like, maybe personifies this growing generation gap too. I think with certain artists that were used to being contained in a kind of old school record industry mentality of being like, we put out an album, you promote it for a year or 2 or 3, and then you put out another one, and then you do it all over again, and then, like, you know, okay, 30 years goes by and you have like 5 to 6 projects, and it just, you know, for all types of reasons, that's not necessary anymore. I mean, sure, some people can still do it, and some art people can't create and just be done with it too.
It's like the crazy part is, like, if I just leave it on my computer and act like, I'm gonna put this on my album in 3 years, bro, I'd be going through so much shit and moving around so much and doing so much other shit on my computer other than music that, like, I'll lose those songs if I don't put them out. And I've lost mad shit before. So now, like, ever since my hard drive died the first time, and thank God for Robbie Dread Eyes, shout out to Shuttle Life, and Strength, you know, they saved my computer, like, from ultimate destruction. But
and they pulled a bunch of songs off it, joints off it, or what?
Yeah, they got everything back. Like, Buddha Therapy would have never came out.
Wow.
CSPG would have never came out. It was right before I dropped Buddha Therapy, we had got all the files back. And I was just like, I was broken from that shit. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to start dropping everything that we have. I don't care if it's not ready yet, because I'm just going to make better shit later.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and speaking of that album, I did want to, I think, just because I love these songs, and I'd love to know some little, you know, backstory on some of them, because of the fact that, like, the way you guys put them out was so rapid fire. There was never a publicist associated with anything. There was never a story that was sold to the media or the people. It was just like, boom, here's another thing, here's another thing, here's another thing, here's another thing. And then, like, you know, so I have my little compilations I made over the years, because you always tossed them my way too, you know, zip file after zip file, you know. But there's joints that are like, this is of my greatest hits of your shit.
Hell yeah.
And just so... And, you know, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but, I mean, I know some of these are songs that other people love, too, and I just love to know, like, you know, your take on some of these, because some of them are classics from the Metro Zoo catalog, and some are classics from Lofty305, because you were releasing stuff simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
Like the group and you. And by releasing, it's like you're just...
Putting it up for download.
Yeah, just
make
throwing
it
them
public.
out.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you know, you can... call it what you want, but I mean, it's still an album in my opinion. A lot of them have total concepts and vibes that are exclusive just to those projects too.
Yeah. It's like something it's like a time capsule for me.
Oh, no question. What's funny too is like because so much of it came out 2012 and 13 and around that, and I mean really each year preceding that too. But you know, some people would say associate a time capsule with like one thing. Oh, that one album. Like Illmatic is like a time capsule, like this thing from Nas and or Biggie's first album or Wu-Tang's. It's like, okay, yeah, here's this time capsule of 20 albums that came out this one year, and it's sort of. I saw something too with Denzel Curry. Was like, he made some mention recently on Twitter too about like, oh, I'm getting back on my 2012 shit or something like that. Yeah, and it made me because of it being him, it reminded me all the stuff you were doing at that time. So anyway, not to get long-winded with it, but obviously Dippin' for me is probably one of my favorite ones. Now you didn't produce that one though.
Nah, that was Passionate made that beat. He was listening to mad Tech Life and shit.
Oh wow,
and this is like. Yeah, like we're just getting off this whole. We made the Electro Slap album.
Okay.
During the making of that album, we were actually like just gonna transfer. We had all started making beats because like
that was unexpected.
Yeah, as time went on, we all just started doing every craft that each other did.
Oh, dope!
Like, Freebase hopped on a track. He'd be rapping, he'd be spinning, he'd be making beats. Passionate be rapping, making beats. And DJing and shit. You feel me?
And Ruben Slick, of course, always just the rapper.
The rapper, beat maker.
He made beats too?
Yeah, he made beats before me. He got me into it,
Amazing.
When we were younger and shit, so. Yeah, and he's on the art too. He was always tagging. Dope. He was in the streets like tagging.
Dope.
You feel me?
So yeah, that's interesting because you guys as brothers, I mean, you obviously like, you share a lot of the same interests like in a very elementary way that brothers do. I have an older brother too, and like we have he's 8 years ahead of me though. With 1 year, you're basically growing up together. You're in the same grade and shit.
We were like best friends and brothers, but you know, it was very big brother. He was big bro to me, for a long time. So it's just like there was that. Even though we were like pretty much the same age,
yeah,
I felt I was able to stay, like young because he was my big brother and he would just like do all the older shit for me first and be like, all right, give me advice. Like an example is like he was like, yo, like he had like some coke or whatever, like there was mad coke at the time, and then everybody was doing coke and I was like, shit, I'm about to do something,
right? And
he was like, you know what, you wouldn't like it, you feel me? And just like him saying that was like, oh, whatever. I don't need to do that.
That's enough, right?
Yeah. I was like, because I didn't think that I would like it. So just the fact that he did it and told me like, I don't think you'd like it, made me not want to do it. You feel me?
That's a good brother right there. That's someone really truly looking out for you. Like, listen, man, I did it. I know you.
Yeah, he told me
it
wasn't that cool. Right. And like he was like that with a lot of shit with like girls, like he's like, pussy's not that much of a big deal. Like, you don't have to freak out about it. So because of that, I just focused on my music always. Like, I was never the kid, like, getting drunk, trying to make out with girls at the party.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to just rap about fucking all these bitches. And then they're going to think I fuck mad bitches and end up doing it,
But Ruben is known to be a wild dude, though.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are kind of different in a lot of ways, too. Both musically with the way you guys, both as vocalists too, but I mean, he has a reputation as a wild dude.
Yeah, he's the guy that will get you, like, we're underage getting into all the clubs because of him. Because he'd go, be like, hey, can I get a cigarette to the right motherfucker?
Right.
And charm the fuck out of them, and they'd be like, yo, you're a cool motherfucker. And that's how we met, like, pretty much everybody. That's how we met everybody in Miami. Like, I met Shuttle Life through my brother. I met, like, pretty much everybody through him, except for the internet shit.
Right.
You feel me? But
he's extremely charismatic. That's
with the Miami shit, like he plugged all that. Like he was basically like our fucking promotion and management. Not management in the beginning because he didn't really do it for like the reasons of like rap swag, but he'd just meet mad people and I'd be like, yo, can we get a show at this fucking club? Like, now that we're in, can we perform? Can we do, you feel me?
Well, that's a great dynamic, too. That's how you get it done,
we're
man.
Ill team, dog.
Right. Shit. Another one, which I'm pretty sure is the two of you, too, is White Girl.
Yeah, right? White Girl. That was, like, probably the first track that I ever spit a fucking verse on. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was like the first track. That was the first Metro Zoo track.
no way, really, I didn't realize.
I'd
that.
say it was because before that, only Slick had recorded solo songs and shit.
Yeah.
And like that was like the first complete Metro Zoo song. It was 80s as fuck.
I mean, I know, I love that about it.
Yeah,
Because there
I
aren't a
see-
lot of songs that have that kind of vibe. Because it sounds like a sample, like a loop or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know? And his lyrics, too. There is a whole delivery, which, if you think about it, now that you mentioned Andre Nicotina, it had, like, you know, I went to college in Northern California in Humboldt State. And that was actually the first time I ever heard Nicotina. It was because Daiquiri Factory played nonstop around there. You know that record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck with my favorite Andre Nicotina record is War Cry.
Nice.
You just feel like you're in like Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking epic.
He's like, yeah, he's such a inventive cat too. I mean, yeah, Nicotina all day. Dre Dog.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else is in. These are more like your solo joints too, but Fresh Braids, I love that song.
Yeah,
So what's the
Fresh
story of
Braids. When my mom did my hair, and Pastronaut was upstairs just, you know, making that beat as I was getting my hair done. And I get upstairs, I just start singing that as a joke. I got them fresh braids.
that? So quite literally, that's what
Yeah,
happened. Right?
that's how it happened. He was like, "Yo, you gotta lay that shit down." That's like really Pastronaut and me. Like I write like pretty much my best shit. Cause sometimes I won't record it because I'll be like, "Oh, that shit's funny," but he's just like, "Nah, hold up, that melody sounds good. You know, you should work that shit out." You know, like Pastronaut was a producer at heart. You feel me? But it's just like, I guess he wanted to like just focus on like being like mogul boss in the beginning. You feel me? Because what he was doing mostly was like going and making connects with like rich ass people and like just getting our music to dope ass people who could push it
Right.
farther. You feel me?
Right.
But like at heart, he's a producer, bro, because he can just sit in a room and not even touch anything and make the track like make fucking complete sense. You know,
Wow.
just by telling people a couple things. You feel me? So that track was really just me and him working together and like making a fucking hit. Because that shit is a hit. If I just sang it a little better, but I'm not gonna go backwards. You feel me?
Yeah, I think
It's
it's.
like-
I mean, for what the way it is, how you did it, it's dope. It's kind of
Yeah, dude.
yeah, it's raw, but it
So many people hit me up about that shit. They're
Yeah?
like, I got
That's so
them fresh braids. Shout out Lofty305. Like that's
Right.
gonna be like the braids anthem.
Yeah, and it's so funny. All it is, you like walked into a room, heard the beat, and then that was it. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
like- Another one that's kind of on that vibe too is Dinner Date. What record was that from? What album was that from?
Dinner Date was on 100 Clothes, I think.
Do you remember this one?
Yeah, I remember. And it was just me and Slick were chilling. Freebase brought over some beats. This shit was like, we were working on Mink Rug. It was gonna
Mink
go
Rug.
on Mink Rug. A lot of
Which
100
was Metro
Clothes-
Zoo.
Yeah, a lot of Haunted Clothes was gonna go on Mink Rug. You know what I mean? But it just ended up that we had so much other shit, and the Mink Rug became like this epic ass. We were on a mission to troll the world with Mink Rug, so like a lot of shit didn't go on there. Like more of our extreme shit. Like we went like extreme on Mink Rug. Like
Well, Sell My Hoe was on Mink Rug, right?
yeah, that's how we started it off. Like
That's such a giant song too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then we had Petey Wee's verse to make people be like, "What?"
oh, it was totally it threw me for a loop
Yeah.
like crazy.
You want to throw people off, yo. That was like the whole
You
point.
accomplished that for sure because it's hard as fuck. It's hard body. You
The
know?
100 Clothes was more like just, it was like a mixtape. It was like a compilation, but it was like, you know, I just listened to that beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy shit.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to put like mad people on this tape that I just make it sound right to me. you
Right.
feel me?
Right.
So
Yeah, I love that line. You bring the food, I'll bring the dinner plates.
Yeah.
Which is dope too. It's just like there's something about that.
I don't know what I was talking about, but it's like some pimpin' shit low key. Like, so I was getting on
Oh
some,
yeah, definitely.
on some wordplay shit back then.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Pimpster that definitely has some amazing wordplay too.
Yeah.
That was from the same project as this one. As
Fresh Braids, I think.
okay, cool.
Yeah, because that was on Cliff Dweller. It's like
Cliff Dweller, right.
I wanted to make that a group, but Postronaut thinks that name is too emo. He thinks I'm just trying to jump off a cliff or some shit.
Oh, really? I never.
We're gonna make another name though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got hella shit in the works, so me
Right,
and him,
cool.
you know, been working on the tape. But that shit was trippy because, you know, it's just like my Transformer swag, you know? Because people
Right.
just think, because I'm like mad artsy and shit, they know like my whole visage and story
They
and
call it
everything.
and just sort of judge a book by its
Yeah.
cover, right?
Even on the other side, like if I walk up the street, some like older people or some shit will move to the side thinking I'm gonna fucking mug them or some shit.
Wow.
Or like I thought this car was my Uber yesterday, and I walk up to it and this lady gets so scared. I'm like, yo, sorry, I thought this was my Uber, you know.
Oh, wow.
But it was just all
Here in
about,
New York?
Yeah, it was in New Jersey,
Right.
but it was like about how people's like image or what they look like to you doesn't fucking matter because
Right.
the person inside could be on some whole other shit. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that like you were still just as prolific with the painting and stuff as you were with like making music. Now people can kind of put you in a box with the music if it sounds like a certain genre, especially if it's like on the real hip hop tip, then they can kind of, there's all types of connotations that come with hip hop. But when you're doing this sort of like avant-garde, impressionist kind of
Yeah, we're doing
artwork,
concept art.
Yeah.
But these guys, Primary Flight, they're in Miami. They're just like these artsy guys. They sat me down, me and Freebase, and they were like, what you guys are doing, the Metro Zoo thing, it's a concept art. Like, shit is concept. You guys don't understand, but you're getting hella conceptual. That's why we fuck with it.
Right.
I didn't know what the fuck concept art was back then.
So you weren't really conscious of it in the moment, right?
No, I wasn't. I was kind of just like, yo, if we do this, we're going to make people feel like this. Boom. You know, to me, concept art was always like, oh, walk into a room with blank walls and be like, it's my art piece. I'm like,
Right.
bullshit, cheaters. You know? Now,
Right.
but now I understand what it was and what it is. It still is concept art to this day. You know, people are still asking each other and asking me what the fuck Metro Zoo was, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to even do this interview, because there's something kind of mystifying about it, because if you listen to the music and the art they're so different, you know, the accompaniment of the kind of artwork that you guys would use. Yeah, absolutely, because some of the songs, they're crazy, like pimp shit, you know.
And then the artwork is hella like, you know, pop art.
Yeah.
Could go on like, you know, your little bro could rock this shit, you know, on a little lunchbox.
Oh, for
some
sure.
of the shit, you know.
But you guys did you did paint stuff. I mean, you did art and performance at Basel, right? A few times, right?
Yeah, I've done. I painted a Lambo 2013.
Yeah. So what's the story with that? You painted a Lamborghini.
Yeah, basically this girl Gianni.
$1 million car and shit.
Yeah, Gianni came up to me. She was like, "Yo, well, Petey Weedy, he brought
Nice.
this girl to my crib, Gianni. We smoked a blunt, and she was like, "Yo, your art's dope as fuck. You're gonna paint a fucking Lamborghini." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I took that to to Primary Flight, and they basically represented me as an artist for that shit, and they got me paid and supplies. And we pulled up, we did
Dope.
that shit, but the event got shut down because
Oh shit.
our guests were too quote unquote ratchet, you know.
Did you
like-
finish?
No, they pulled off as like Super Chief got it all on video and shit. It's like this company out in Brooklyn that does like, they have a gallery out here. They came down and filmed it all for us.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's called Lambo God Art Basel Metro Zoo. You look that up on Google.
Did you touch that? Did you get any paint on it?
On the Lambo?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
We put all the we marked it up.
Okay, good.
There
good.
was like obscenities and shit on it. There was people snorting shit off of it, so they wanted to get that shit the fuck out of there. Like the company was
Right.
hella mad. Like the people who owned it. I'm not gonna say their names. 'Cause,
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, it's cool. I got paid the day before I did it. So.
Very nice.
But it's like what happened was I was there, was painting, everything was cool, you know. But then Vice pulled me to the side to do a fucking interview. I go inside to do the interview. After 5 minutes, I come back out. All hell is broken loose, and they like
Damn.
shut the shit down. They drove
Right.
away as I was like drawing on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Damn. How have you seen it change since you were since you went the first time? Obviously, it Basel itself has evolved a lot.
First
too.
time I went was like 2008.
Okay.
and I just went as I wasn't too deep into music or art where I felt like I should introduce myself as an artist or anything.
Right.
I was just out there. But it was kind of cool because I was not in a place where people would expect me to be. I was in these galleries and shit.
Right.
And, all the old people would look at us like, what are you doing here? Hey, what do you guys do? Because we dressed crazy. Because my mom would, make us all these hoodies of Star Wars and Batman and Robin and shit. Like, she sewed us, custom hoodies and shit. So all the clothes we used to rock back then, that was, my mom, just swagging us out. And then
because later, you obviously you would paint on apparel. You did the backpacks.
Yeah, my mom influenced me with that shit.
Oh, cool.
She showed me that you could just get the pattern.
Right.
Sit down, spend the time, and you got clothes. You can make clothes,
Right.
And if you make clothes, you make money,
What did your folks do? What were they doing when you were growing up?
They're lawyers.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the immigration law, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
helping people get in, helping mad Haitians get in.
I would say in Miami, that's obviously a huge deal. It's a big business.
Yeah, it did really well. But, shit happens. They got into some type of legal troubles or whatever. Because some lady in the office, they eventually got found, innocent of all the things. But, it was a lesson. And everything happens for a reason. Because after they weren't practicing anymore, they're spending a lot more time at home. And that conversation about my future and my career and all the music and stuff, it would have never happened if they had the law office, straight up, because they were just so busy. And they're getting more and more busy as we got older, and we were losing we actually became a real true, we got to the next level as a family after all the money was gone.
Interesting. Well, it brought you back together again.
Yeah, we had to be around each other.
Right.
We had to get to know each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If they're workaholics, they're never home. Then it's a hard task to really develop a relationship with.
Yeah. Between those years of being when you're 10 or something, you get to spend mad time with your parents. But
sure.
When you get 12, 13, they're like, yo, I gotta work, so I'll be home around 9, whatever,
Right. You can take care of yourself now.
It was never bad or anything, but it's just in terms of being able to say, all right, I know this person. Now my parents could be like, all right, I know him. There's mad parents that don't know their kids, and all the arguments and stuff come from just you just don't know the person because you talk to them intently. But for the last time 4 years ago was your deep conversation,
Right.
So you got to have that 16, 17, 18 because they're a whole different person from when they're a kid,
Oh yeah, and that's one of the most impressionable times of your life too, when you're really starting to be able to make real decisions for yourself too,
they saved me, dog. They gave me confidence, because if I didn't have confidence to do the music, that I really got it from my parents in the beginning, because anybody could tell you, yeah, you guys could do this, I'm just bro, when my mom, my dad told me I could fucking get famous and rich and travel the world, do whatever the hell I wanted, off my talent, then I believed it,
Oh yeah, that kind of encouragement can only really come from that kind of place. It's huge. It's more than any dude in the industry or anything like that. Fuck the industry when it comes to family, of course. That trumps it every single time. So, even going back to Metro Zoo too, now that it's, 2017, the group is would you say, does it exist anymore, as a group, or is it more now?
It really does.
Yeah.
In the trippiest way, it really fucking does. All of us, we still chill, I still see Slick and shit, but we don't chill that heavy anymore just because, we're getting older and stuff, and it's, the same thing that I said. If you haven't, talked to somebody in years, and we spent time apart, and what happened was we both grew in different ways during that time that we spent. And this goes for Freebase and Postronaut too.
Right.
We all grown, so when we come back together, we're gonna have to put together a different equation for it to make sense, because we're different people,
Well, yeah. When did you? How old are you when you started? You're
we were
17,
15.
Yeah,
I was 15. They were 16. 17,
Yeah, and each guy has definitely had some, life-changing stuff happen.
Life-changing shit. Really, whenever somebody's not that present on the music or whatever, it's because of a real reason, you know? It's like,
for
because
sure.
like, you know, either Slick got locked up or whatever, or when Postronaut, he was dealing with some family shit during the time, Freebase too. So really, that's what's really been happening, you know?
Yeah, real life stuff.
Yeah, just growing up, living life, having responsibilities, you know. But I think it's in stasis, you know. Nobody's on bad terms with each other. We all love each other. We all see each other, call each other, and are there for each other. And, you know, that's whether somebody's going a solo route, I'm completely behind them. You feel me?
Oh, for sure.
I'm not, like, stressing for the Metro Zoo shit to, like, be what it was, you know?
Right.
I more want it to just be what it's going to be. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, and you guys were in a certain place where you put yourself, where you've always, you know, dictated the direction of this group, which has always kind of had its own kind of nebulous concept where it's not like you were, being contained by a record label or being dictated to, you know, oh, you can't put out 20 albums this year, you know, like we got to focus on this one. And so you've always, seemingly as a group, and you yourself too as like the main, like as a primary producer of it, have, you know, retained so much control of it the whole time anyway, you know.
Yeah, like that's the main thing, is that we don't feel pressed by the fans or anyone to just top up and tap dance for you right quick.
Right.
You know, we're gonna do it when it's right for us. And like the main thing I wanted to maintain is my relationship with my brothers. You feel me?
Yes.
With my brother Slick and with my, you know, my brothers Postronaut and Freebase. Like I'd rather preserve that relationship than give the fans another album that they're not gonna they haven't paid for none of the other albums.
Right.
I mean, they do now on iTunes, you know, Metro Zoo, Room Slick, Lofty305, look that up, buy all our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because for years you gave them countless albums for free.
So it's like, bro, if we need time to like figure out life, just meanwhile support everything that we're putting out solo. And, you know, we have stuff together that's coming out. Like I have songs with Slick. I have a song with Slick and Curry. I have a couple songs with both of them on it. And we have a whole Metro Zoo album that's going to drop. You know, but these things need to drop when they're going to drop. Just like you said about, like, we used to drop shit 20 albums at a time.
Right.
20 albums back to back. But that's like the old us. The new us is going to do shit a little bit more epic. Like, we might pick it up to that 20 albums in a year, but we're going to build it back up to that.
Yeah, I mean, and that was just one chapter in the story of the group, too. Where
because it's dope to drop all that shit, but people got to know. You feel me? People got to know how dope we are.
Oh, me? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and you've left them with a lot of stuff to discover, too. You know, I mean, I have a lot of it, but I mean, you're never going to be able to get it all because of the wealth of material that exists.
My laptop at home I think my battery just conked out or something. I need to go get 1,000 songs off there.
Right.
And it just never stops.
Right.
But I think the way that I did it in the past was it was dope for the time it was. I think it was the younger me, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just about speed, you know. I want to use the speed, but in a different way. Like, I want to drop, like, as many videos as I drop as I drop mixtapes or something like that, because I feel like that would have given more of a impact, you know?
Yeah. And, I mean, what's this, the new record? Because that has Come and Go is a great, I love that song. Yeah,
that was just, like, I just felt like just putting that out there.
Oh, gotcha.
You know? But it wasn't really, like, focused on as much as like Cloudy Palace. You know, Cloudy Palace is like my baby. Like,
cool.
Nurtured that shit and put a lot of my heart and soul into it. Neighborhood Lofty is more of a mixtape. It's like more like me going back to the old me, kind of just like going crazy, you know.
Yeah, because each joint is
polarized.
kind of a different.
Yeah, taking you to a different place every time.
Right.
Every time the next song starts, I'm taking you to another.
Yeah, because you got like the drum and bass joint, and you have like this kind of raga joint, and then Come and Go is like this total other sort of throwback.
Yeah, I'm talking like that tape is really, I can talk to like the women in my my life and the people in Miami and around. You know, it's like a
Right.
PSA to everybody.
Right.
So they just cop that shit, put that shit in their whip, and then everybody knows there's new Lofty out.
Right.
But my focus is to make Cloudy Palace is like a 3-part EP series, and then it's
Okay.
gonna be an album. That's like my main project I'm focusing on. In between then, I'm gonna drop like mixtapes and stuff. But I think I am gonna end up with a really deep catalog. I'm gonna put out more shit than I did before. Like
Okay.
my old shit, like that's less than half of my shit of my life. You feel me?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna put out way more shit, but once I like build up enough funds off these projects to just have like 5 people who master my music, so I can put out 5 tapes
Right.
that all sound amazing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it takes manpower. Like the track will go through like 5 different hands, get molded, and turn into a masterpiece. You know, it's like my part of my growth is just becoming more of a team type of person. Back in the Metro Zoo days, it was just like up to me. Like, oh, you can drop it. You think it's ready? You know?
Right. I mean, you would make the final decision. Right?
Yeah. So I got used to that. And when I'm on the road and stuff, just you don't get time to focus on what you're dropping. You know. So some of the things might come out like not full potential.
Right,
Straight
right.
up, they're not the full potential. Even my songs that people really love,
Right.
it's not the full potential that it could have been if I was like sitting, you know. And still I can go back and redo those songs because only how many people heard it? Maybe 20,000 people at most, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah,
there's
because
like
you put them
6
out a very
billion
particular
people.
way too.
You feel me? So it's just
Right.
like right now I'm not really like, my old fans are dope. Like my fans that have been rocking with me are dope as fuck, and they gotta continue to just be there and just be ready to like receive some awesome shit. Because
Right.
you know, along with all the new fans, because I'm thinking about that too. Like now I'm thinking about, now that I see the impact that it's had on a bunch of people,
Right.
I'm thinking about what I'm saying, you know, because I do have a sister who's
Right.
pretty much like my age, you know. Now we're growing up the same. We're like in the same scene and shit. And she goes around and she says, "Yo, my brothers are Metro Zoo," and you know, she's half proud of it. You know, she's proud of us, but she's also like, "Damn, you know, you guys are crazy as hell. People know you guys as
Yeah,
crazy,
it's wild dudes. So, yeah. Speaking of which, too, like, how is Ruben now? Is he cool?
Yeah, he's chilling,
Yeah.
man. He's trying to do better, you know.
What was the? Because I saw he has a new song, or he had a video, which I love that song too.
Yeah.
What is that called? Do you remember off the top of your head? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, These Streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of a total departure from like some of his more crazed, like real older material. This is like a lot more grounded, and he's you know got the hook to the.
Yeah, it's the road
it's
he's
dope.
on. It's not an easy road.
Right,
either,
right.
You know, that's why it's like he hasn't put out, like he used to put out a lot of stuff like me, like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
constant flow. But what we're working on is you know, put our health first. You feel me?
Of course.
And our well-being first and everything, and just focus on what we're saying, because we are leaders and we're actually do affect the world around us. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
that's like, we can't be full of ourselves and act like, oh, I could do whatever I want, man, just, you know. But there's kids who said, like, in a positive way, there's kids who said like certain songs that I made make them not commit suicide, you know, inspire them to get off drugs. Like my homie that I sell paintings to, Nico, in Fort Lauderdale and shit, he told me like he used to be on heroin and shit, but he started like listening to like my music about being positive shit, and he like just stopped chilling with those types of people. And pretty much he said like I became his best friend.
Wow.
He started listening to all my shit like all the time.
Dope.
You know what I mean? And it helped get him through, and that shit is dope. So I want to like put emphasis on that, because there's enough people fucking people up. There's enough people like confusing people and shit, and it was cool for a while because I was a kid, just like. But now that I know the results, I know what I want to see off my shit. And I know it, like I can still make money and make like powerful shit. I don't have to look cool in front of people who like don't give a fuck about me. You know what I mean?
Oh, no question. Yeah, I mean, in one, you're an incredible producer too. I mean, even your instrumental stuff alone is stands in its own right. You know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think you're on a great path.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, I want to go super positive like with my shit, and like I'll let the young niggas say all that crazy shit. It'll come out sometimes. I'll overflow. You know. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm
you're only human too.
Yeah, I'm a human. Like I'm a balanced person, but my whole my vibe is gonna be a little bit more. I'm a soul man nowadays, man. I'm older. Right. I'm 25 now. You know,
growing up.
Two days I was a teenager. You know.
Yeah, that's what you know. You wild out a little bit when you're a teenager too. So
yeah, dude.
So what else? What else do you have coming up for you know? Just so we can kind of formally plug something too. Besides that, we have a show coming up here in New York on Saturday.
The Lofty Pants show.
Yes. Pants show. Which, really, come to think of it, when was the last time you were even in New York? It's been a while, right?
3 years or so. We had that Zootopia art show.
That's right. Yeah.
It was sick, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was like a pop up in Manhattan. You did like an art show, right?
Yeah. Shout to Blake. Shout to Posh God. Shout to Hawk.
Last time you did a show, though, actual performance had been probably even further.
That was like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was not even considered a show to me. Like, I was still figuring out
This is the Knitting Factory one, right?
Yeah, bro. I was a teenager, dog. My voice was breaking out. We were trying to figure out the dynamics of a show, and it was just crazy, man.
No, I know, because we did it. We booked it, canceled it, and then held on to it for... It might have even been a whole year later.
It was a whole year.
It was crazy.
Even getting up here was crazy, bro.
Right.
Just figuring out where we're going to stay every night.
Yeah,
it was a crazy
man.
time, bro. I feel like I'm more rooted now, and I can rock a show way better, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Just when you're juggling so much shit, and shit's moving so fast, it's like you need people, you need a team around you to like kind of, you feel me? That's like my focus now. I have my team that like that focuses on like moving forward. Yeah. Even though I love chaos and speed and just hella creative shit,
sure,
you always gotta just keep being pushed forward. So like I'm just trying to go forward with my shit. It's still the same Lofty, you know, but it's just evolved as fuck, man.
Well, even Come and Go, that song it's a good example of that, because you are touching on certain concepts from back in the day, as far as you know, certain stuff. I mean, I'll let people listen to and be their own judge of it, but I mean, there is kind of a new bent to it as well.
Come and Go is me right now. That's
right.
Me today. Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah, I love that song.
Like as much me as I can get.
Right.
You know, at this point. But
so beyond that, which is out now, what else do you see for like coming for the rest of the year, as far as stuff that I want people to be able to seek out your shit and be able to purchase it too, now that you're selling stuff and not just giving it all away.
Vinyls and cassettes. You know, we're gonna drop some of the Metro Zoo projects on vinyls and cassettes. We're gonna do a lot more merch. You know, you can still get merch at officialposhgang.com and poshplasma.com.
Are you doing you were doing some skateboards and backpacks too?
Yeah, we're gonna get back on the skateboard rhythm very soon.
Those sold well?
Yeah, like everything sells really good because we have loyal fans all over the world, and I be shipping to. It sucks because the shipping costs mad money, but I be shipping to like London, Paris, Australia, you know, Japan, a lot of places, you know.
Right.
Because like, I don't know, I just want to make more epic shit though. Like I want to make an epic video. I want to focus more energy into each thing one by one. Because I feel like life is about balance. And the first half of my life, not half of my life, I think I'm going to be living past 50, but
yeah,
pretty much the first stage of my career was about that speed and putting out a large body of work that people can go and discover and find and shit. But this phase is about bringing all the people to come find that, you know? So I want to focus on like videos. So this year I'm going to be dropping really epic videos and dropping the Cloudy Palace Part 2 and 3. You know, hopefully we get to the album. But, you know, I'm really focusing on completing that trilogy.
For sure. And listen, I mean, at 25, man, you got you're good. You got the whole playing field is right in front of you, man. Like
I'm not good.
You just caught the ball. Like you can still got the whole field.
It's like when you just left the buffet. Like I love my life, and God forbid, but if I didn't wake up tomorrow, I'd be a happy guy, and I'd feel loved, and I'm glad to be where I've been, but it ain't shit. Like, fuck that shit. You feel me? I want more.
Well, man, I have a feeling you're gonna get it, man. I appreciate your time too.
Hell
Good looking
man.
out for coming out and for doing the show, man. Thank you so much, man.
Peace out, dog.
Cool. Yes. I want to thank my guest, Lofty305, and all of y'all for tuning in. That was an awesome conversation. I'm so glad that we were able to do it, and I was able to reconnect with him after so many years. Too, I want to say too, for those of you that might not recognize the song at the very beginning of the show, that was "Dippin'" from Metro Zoo. And if you need a template of albums from Metro Zoo as a group to go off of, there's the ones I would recommend is Buddha Therapy, CSPG, Mink Rug, Zoology, and that's like maybe half of them. Find those. They're all basically from 2011, 2012. Find those records and listen to them. They're fantastic. Great production from Lofty305 as well as Mr. B and the crew. And enjoy it. Hopefully I put you guys onto it. If you're a fan of the group and of Lofty, then I know that this was a treat. I appreciate his time. If you did like it, feel free to share it. Like I said earlier, put it out there. Let people know, especially if you think some heads would appreciate it. Retweet me on Twitter at TheHouseListPod. You can follow Lofty305 on Twitter at Lofty305. And definitely seek out all his new material on his Bandcamp. It's out there. You can find it. You know what I'm saying? This episode was edited and engineered by my man CJ Stewart out in Northern California. Thank you, as always. Thanks to everyone that listened. You can find it, yes, iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. I keep plugging it, but hey, that's what I got to do. That's part of the job. I got to do some kind of promotion. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the word out just a little bit. What else? I'm hoping that we get this out in time to plug the show that we're doing at Sunnyvale in Brooklyn, New York City, this Saturday, the 8th. And with James Pants, Lofty305, and myself DJing as DJ Thanksgiving Brown. Yes, that is, if you don't know by now, hopefully you do. And what else? I'm going to end the show with some music from my man Lofty305. This is Come and Go. We made mention of this song in the conversation. This is pretty much brand new. And I think kind of shows the old with the new, if you pay attention to the lyrics and stuff. Classic Metro Zoo, Lofty305. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. This has been episode 29 of the House List Podcast. All right, y'all. Enjoy. Peace, y'all.
Yeah, it's Lofty305, letting y'all motherfuckers know. The bitch is coming up. The bitch is coming up. The bitch is coming up. I met her on the internet, like every other girl I ever met. Infatuated with the intellect when we met. Neither of us ever thought that we'd intersect. Skipped all the bullshit right to the sex. Life and the death of love in one breath. I fell asleep, laying on her breast. Woke up to nothing but a letter that she left. Well, the bitch is coming up. 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 So, let's say I met a hoe. I mean the kind of hoe that fucking niggas for the dough. I mean the type of hoe that's sliding up and down a pole like a firefighter, brighter than she let a nigga know. I got inside her brain and one day she did explain. Most women pimpin' niggas stain on their game. They be playing dumb, but I'll never be a lame. I be the stop, let your bitch be the train, yo. The bitch is coming up. The bitch is coming up. The bitches come and go. 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 They gotta come and go. They in it for the fame or they in it for the blow. The image I obtained from the lyrics that I wrote attracted all the bitches I have grown to only loathe. A goddess, she will nourish you and keep you from the cold. But only if you treat her like you know you supposed. That way you know she gon' always be around. When these bitches come and go, she gon' always hold you down, yeah. The bitches come and